but if we're going to slim down the monarchy, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, those two hucksters over in Montecito, they have to go next.
Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amaomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we're discussing British royals, precisely Prince Andrew and Prince Harry. Now, some weeks ago, Prince Andrew made a decision to not use his title, which is the Duke of York, rather. And because he has had this ongoing issue with the Epstein files and the abuse that occurred, and he was accused of being a PDF. Any which way, some weeks ago he said that he would no longer use his titles. And then as of 5 o'clock, which is when the embargo was lifted on a communication from Buckingham Palace, which is the palace of King Charles, his brother, the present monarch, it was said that Buckingham Palace has stripped Prince Andrew of all his titles, and he will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And this has got people talking because there's also repercussion for his children and Prince Harry. So in this video, we're going to check out what exactly has happened and what it means for Princess Beatrice and Eugene, what it means for his ex-wife Fergie, and what it also means for Prince Harry. So we'll check out what people have to say, and then I'll come back to share my thoughts. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new, subscribe and like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now let's get into this video.
Prince Andrew will no longer be Prince Andrew. He will be Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
The artist formerly known as Prince Andrew has been stripped of his titles, styles and honours. Now, I've seen a lot of people asking what's the difference, what are they? As someone who spent a lot of time researching into royal protocol and history, let me break this down for you. A style is simply a form of formal address to someone usually with a title, for example, His High Majesty for the sovereign. A title is a rank, prince, duke, lord, etc. And an honour is an award or a military appointment or order of chivalry, for example, the Order of the Garter. Why does this matter? He should be in jail. He should be facing criminal consequences. I totally agree. But let's be real. Andrew is someone whose whole life has been defined by entitlement. He's been enabled from birth, never told no. And by most accounts, and it's no secret that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is a nasty piece of work. He's rude, arrogant, entitled, and a downright bully. Bully to his staff, courtiers, even his protection officers. He generally sees himself as someone who's above everyone else, and those titles don't just define his position, they justify and enable his behaviour. Think about it, his entire wealth, influence and identity have revolved around him being Prince Andrew of the United Kingdom, Duke of York. That status has given him access to rich and powerful circles that he would never be able to enter on his own merit. He's never earned a penny of his own making. He's used his position and privilege to infiltrate his circles and effectively fund his lavish lifestyle that he would never be able to afford. So while this may seem symbolic, stripping him of his titles, it's hit him where it hurts the most, right in his ego. That's the one thing that he's always believed that's made him untouchable. Do I think Andrew should face criminal consequences? Absolutely. But now he'll just retire into a royal estate funded by his brother while his victims have to deal with the fallout.
Wow, the King of England just made Prince Andrew into a normal peasant or other citizen in the United Kingdom. This is an unprecedented move, and it's something that I didn't expect because he already agreed to stop using the title of prince, but now he is not a prince. He is a commoner. He's no longer going to be allowed to live at the Royal Lodge. He has to give it up immediately because that is a royal place. Only royals can live in the royal buildings because they believe that those people are better than others. But Prince Andrew is so bad because of what he did with Epstein that he has been stripped. He's going to have to find a new place to live. For all you know, he's next door neighbor. He could be living in the apartment next to yours. I don't know what he's going to do for work. He probably has some money saved away, though. As you know, these royals do pilfer the public money and keep it for themselves.
she'd be so proud. He's just Andrew. He's no longer a prince. And she is celebrating from the heavens right now, saying, I did it. This normal girl from a normal family has taken down a prince. We are so proud of her. Her survivors are proud of her. Her sisters. This is a moment that is unprecedented in history. Period. That's it.
Well, Prince Andrew is now just Andy Windsor. He's been stripped of his titles. He is no longer the Duke of York, and he is no longer living at the Royal Lodge on the Windsor grounds. He's moving to King Charles' private estate, funded privately by the King, Sandringham Estate. And there, Andy will live. No longer the Duke of York, no longer Prince Andrew, just Andy. Of course, all of this is because of Virginia Giuffre's Brooke, where she outlines that she was assaulted by him when she was a minor. And he, of course, has denied all of this. His family, led by the King, feels he has been less than forthcoming. His daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, will keep their princess titles because they are the daughters of the son of a monarch. And so that, of course, that applies. Sarah Ferguson will find her own quarters. She is no longer the Duchess of York. She can't use that either. It's a total disgrace. Andy Windsor, a total disgrace. Those awful interviews he did where he just looked so guilty, and he's never been forthcoming about his relationship with Epstein. And so there it ends. King Charles did what he had to do. Cheers, big ears.
And that is the full titles now stripped from the former royal known as the Duke of York, Prince Andrew. Why is that a problem? It's a huge problem. It's a mega problem. Simply because, moving forward, where does this now leave the minor senior royals, as it were? And people like Harry and Meghan are that problem. Now, what's frightened Prince Harry in particular, I can tell you from an excellent source out in Montecito, was the speed and the delivery of this. You know, both of them, the Duke and Duchess of York, have their titles now removed. And now Sarah Ferguson is simply going to be known as Sarah Ferguson. As I told you in a very brief report, the situation now really is what to do with the Yorks next. It's not going to be easy because I believe, you know, from sort of speaking to people who know the former royal well, I don't believe he's going to be doing a boko telling his version of events. The best thing he could now do would be to knuckle down and keep out of the limelight. There are suggestions that they could become the new Duke and Duchess of Windsor, right? So consequently, you know, when you think about it, that probably would be the best option. Move away, keep your head down, and hopefully, you know, people will forget in the fullness of time and you can live out your life in semi-luxury. I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about the Yorks. You know, they're very independently well off. Our late wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth, very much saw to that Andrew would be looked after. It's just a shame in a sense because they're a couple who had it all and literally blew it all away. Will the same now be said for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Now, what people don't realise, and I can share this with you behind the scenes, is the fact that the instrumental person for the removal of that title was none other than His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, Prince William. 100%. You see, he realises, and this is the situation we're in, and this is where Harry and Meghan must be very, very nervous, because the situation that you're truly in is that William is looking at his stage of the monarchy, and no doubt his eldest son, Prince George. And what you've got to do is clean up the monarchy. Effectively, it's a mess. It happens every so 60, 100 years, right? There's always the bad apple, as we saw with the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. And now what you're trying to do is change this dramatically and clean it up. William basically does not want Andrew anywhere near him on the Great Windsor estate. William has now moved in there. This is going to be the home. I believe this is going to be the power base of the monarchy. Remember, this is where Harry and Meghan wanted to live. They fancied that similar house, and Harry and Meghan felt they could pop back and forth, utilise Windsor with all the glory of the privacy of the security, the gardens, and of course the growing up for his two children, and that would be the base of it, right? That was the deal. William, though, very much pushed His Majesty the King. Now, the reason why, and this is where it's important, this bit, right? This is really instrumental in this. You know, William has the power because Charles knows himself, not a young man, and his tenure on the throne is not ever going to be any length of time. He's going to emulate almost, King Edward, because simply just it's life, it's facts, isn't it? You know, we'd hope he'd be around for a long time, but of course, who knows? That's time. William wants things clean and cut. Now, the next stage of this, and this is the bit that really I found fascinating, and it must really frighten Prince Harry. Not so much Meghan Markle. She claims she doesn't care and doesn't need the Royal Association. But she believes that ultimately people already know her for the Royal Association, so why would she need the next stage? You get the picture.
Prince Andrew is officially a commoner. Buckingham Palace released this statement. He will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He is being kicked out of Royal Lodge. He lost his style, his titles, and his honors. I don't think this has anything to do with them wanting to punish Andrew or try to right any wrongs. They don't want anyone questioning the finances and looking this closely. Because remember, nobody knew that he wasn't paying rent at Royal Lodge for like decades. I don't know, call me cynical. I think this has everything to do with the fact that people were looking a little bit closer than any of them want, and that can't happen.
Okay, so I'm doing work around the house, cleaning out closets. Ignore the way I look, but it seems like the royal family is also cleaning out their closets because Buckingham Palace released a statement saying that Prince Andrew will be stripped of his prince title. He'll be the artist formerly known as Prince. He is also being forced to move out of Royal Lodge, his home he was allowed to live in until 2078. Now, I have to mention that Prince Andrew denies any wrongdoing and has not been criminally convicted whatsoever of any crimes, but this is a PR crisis for the monarchy, and the monarchy is all about survival. King Charles knows this. Prince William, who will be king very soon, he also knows this, and only 1 in 4 people said they thought Prince Andrew was a great guy, so the other 75% were saying he's gotta go. Now, I talk about this on my podcast and on social media almost every single day, but if we're gonna slim down the monarchy, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, those two hucksters over in Montecito, they have to go next because they've been dining out on their titles for the last 6 years and they left the royal family 6 years ago. Meghan Markle, who's about as royal as Burger King at this point, I actually have more respect for the Burger King than I do for Meghan Markle, that little scammer. She continues to use her title to enrich herself, to sell jams, jellies, and dog biscuits, and to get deals in the entertainment industry. And what did she do? She went on national TV and lied and accused her family of racism with no evidence whatsoever. For the last 6 years, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have tried to hinder and undermine the monarchy at every turn with tell-all books and tell-all docuseries, and their lies they continue to spew on almost a weekly basis through the tabloids, in my opinion. So King Charles, honey, I love ya. If we're gonna be stripping titles, we gotta strip Harry and Meghan's next, okay?
One last thing, and then I really need to go edit our podcast episode, which is sadly already out of date. I've seen a lot of people asking, will this now be the mechanism that the palace can use to strip Harry and Meghan of their titles? Obviously, we don't know for sure, but if you do give the monarch the power to unilaterally play with titles at your whim, yeah, they could absolutely do that. It'll all come down to what mechanism they use. If it's just an act of parliament that relates to Andrew, no, it might be easier to get that through with Harry and Meghan, but no, not immediately. If it is, however, a power that is given to the monarch, that's a different story. And I don't think Charles would ever necessarily do it, but William sure as hell would. So yeah, it's still a watch this space kind of issue, but we have seen, sadly, over the years that the palace does think that what Harry did in some instances is worse than what Andrew did, which is absolutely insane. Like, to be so clear, talking about your own lived experience and alleged sexual, financial crimes to the degree that Andrew has, again, allegedly been embroiled in them for years, not the same thing. Objectively not the same thing. I don't care if you like Harry and Meghan. I don't care if you think what they said was distasteful. It crossed no legal boundaries. Who cares? And the fact that they're not working royals also is irrelevant. There are a lot of people who have titles who have never worked for the royal family, will never work for the royal family, because that's not how titles work. They are given on merit of birth. The monarch gives dukedoms to sons of the family when they get married as a gift, not as an expectation that they will work for the institution. You represent the institution to a degree when you were born into it, but working for is a completely different thing that is still being defined in the modern era. So that's not like a hard and fast rule. So I would be very curious to see A, the mechanism being used to remove Andrew's titles, and B, the reasoning given if and when that mechanism is then employed to remove Harry and Meghan's.
So, of course, everyone's talking about the Prince Andrew scandal, and what more do we need to say? This should have happened a long time ago, and in fact, the royal family needs to ship his ass off back to the U.S. for him to be properly investigated. However, I do see the conversation, of course, because it always leads back to Harry and Meghan, of if the king, or even Prince William, will try to take away Harry and Meghan's titles and their children. And I respond to that with a question. Where was the lies in that Oprah interview if they do take away those titles? Because this only proves that not only did they not want to give a woman of color, a black woman, a title, they also didn't want to give the children that was bred and birthed from a woman of color a title. And more importantly, how would they be able to fight those racist allegations now? Because if you take the steps to take away the titles of the first black biracial woman in that family, and then the children that is from a black biracial woman in that family, and the fact that we even comparing apples to oranges, meaning Andrew to Harry and Meghan for just expressing their grievances of their experience of them dealing with real life stuff, with racism, bullying, sexism, all the things of the things. If you compare that to that lunatic, that sick man, allegedly, yeah. And for those of you who are wondering why I got this bright ass green shirt on, I'm dressed as Shaggy. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and I'm going to work. So there's your answer.
5 royals set to lose titles when Prince William takes action against Andrew. Prince William previously revealed the changes are on the way when he becomes king, with 5 royals reportedly set for the unlucky fate of being stripped of their royal titles. Prince Andrew revealed last week that he has made a decision to relinquish his remaining titles and honours, including his Duke of York title. Royal insider Tom Sykes told the Daily Beast Prince William will strip Prince Andrew along with all other non-working royals of their HRHs and princely titles when he ascends to the throne, friends and allies of the prince have said. The dramatic change will be effected by an executive order known as Letters Patent, ratified by Parliament in the early weeks of the reign of King William V. It will remove princely titles not just from Andrew but also from Beatrice, Eugenie, Harry, Archie and Lilibet. So we've seen what people have to say about it. We've seen the news report. We've seen some of the royalists and some of the people who write about royals talk about it. We've seen people's reaction to the news that Prince Andrew has been stripped of his title and is now literally a commoner. We've also seen that Princess Eugenie and Beatrice are not going to lose their title, even though Prince William, the heir to the throne, used them as leverage because it practically threatened Prince Andrew with their titles. I've also seen that he has been asked to leave the Royal Lodge. I would love to hear what you think about everything that has been going on. Do you think it was the right decision by King Charles to strip Prince Andrew of his title, or do you think that was too harsh? Because Prince Andrew has insisted that he is not guilty of what he has been accused of. I would love to hear your own thoughts, so please leave a comment in the comment section. Now, personally, I'm really shocked that King Charles did that, but I know that a lot of that decision was influenced by Prince William. Prince William doesn't want to take any chances. He doesn't want a case where when it's his turn or his children's turn, everything is just disrupted by the action of someone who should have been punished or someone who should not have done something like that, knowing that he was from a royal family. Now, I don't know if what he is accused of, if he actually did it. He keeps on saying he's innocent. If he's innocent, I hope he's able to prove it. But for the royal family to have gone this far, it means that what they are saying in evidence and what he's saying is not correlating. Something must be off for them to have gone this far, because to the best of my knowledge, I don't think it has ever happened before in the British royal family. I know about other royal family might have happened, but I did not think they were going to get this to this level. I knew that he was told to stop doing some things. His security was removed and a lot of things were done to him, but I did not think it would get to a point where they would just strip him of his title. Now, I'm happy that his daughters are getting to retain their title, even though they are not like really active royal members, but they still get to be presented as princess. So I'm happy that it didn't affect them. Even though I think that Prince William going that far to say we will strip them of their title just to get their father to leave, I think it was a bit too harsh, but I'm glad they are retaining their titles for now, because anything can happen in the future. If it gets too bad, they can throw them, because the goal now is to preserve the British royal family and not just one person in the family. Now, personally, concerning Prince Andrew, and even though I love the late Queen Elizabeth, I really admired her, I have to say that I feel like she and her husband, Prince Philip, caused all this, because there's this way that they treated the spare, according to Prince Harry, that they did not treat the heir to the throne. Now, there was so much expectation of being responsible from the heir to the throne that they allowed the spare, in quote, to do anyhow. They allowed a lot of nonsense from Prince Andrew and Prince Harry, and that's why both of them had very questionable characteristics and actions that just was just somehow. They always overindulged the spare to just compensate for, oh, they are not going to be the heir to the throne, they are not going to be the one that is going to be king and the rest. And now we see both spares just acting. Even Prince Edward, which is the fourth child of Queen Elizabeth, he had his own funny things that he did. Like, I think he avoided going for military. They didn't bother because he was the fourth born, which is indulgence in all those kind of things. He was supposed to have gone, but he didn't go. He said he wanted to do other things, and they allowed him, which is part of what I'm saying, that they were indulging the other children and forcing the firstborns to do things that was beneficial for the royal family, and the other ones got a bit haywire and did all kinds of things. Now, fortunately for Prince Edward, he started getting himself in order. I believe it's when he married his wife Sophie that he started getting things in order. Now, for Princess Anne, who is the second born, she was the only daughter, so I feel like she matured and was able to do things rightly, but she doesn't have a lot of issues unlike the other ones. Now, for Prince Harry, we've seen what overindulgence, in my own personal opinion, this is my own personal opinion, anybody can say what they like, But we've seen what overindulgence has cost the family in the last few years, especially from 2020, how he expected the same thing that his brother was getting, and how when he was not getting it, it caused a bit of friction, a lot of friction between him and the royal family and his wife and the rest, because his wife expected the same thing, and when she got into the family and saw that, okay, they are putting barrier, they are saying some things cannot happen and they are expecting it, and when they said no, it got them in a bit of an issue, and they decided they wanted to step back so that they can do what they want to do in their own corner. But they thought they would get away with giving terms and conditions, and they told them no, it cannot happen, and they left to America. Now they were told not to use the title and the rest, but we've seen cases where Meghan did not follow the rule. Now, with this issue of Prince Andrew being stripped of his titles, I believe that Prince Harry and Meghan will be very worried, because one of the things that people used to always say when some things are done to Prince Harry and Meghan is that, oh, Prince Andrew did this, he's accused of doing that, and he's still in the house, he's still with this, he's still with that, he's still with his title, he's still with that, he's still with security, he's still with all kinds of things. But now that he has been stripped of his title, Prince Harry, I am sure they are going to be very worried, because they've done a lot of things that have been kind of disgraceful to the British royal family. And if they step out of line again and do something as massive as the Oprah interview, the Netflix, and all the accusation and everything that they've been saying and doing, if they step out of line, that title will be gone, and their children's title will be gone. And I am sure they are very, very worried, because it has not been done. They never thought it would be done, that they will strip Prince Andrew or any of them of their title. So once this has reached them, and I don't know if this whole issue was communicated to them before 5 p.m., before the embargo was lifted, because I know that they've stopped receiving correspondence like that from the Buckingham Palace, from the royal family. So they might not have gotten a heads up of this was going to happen. They might just be seeing it as others are seeing it, as it has been published. Maybe they might get a heads up from one of the journalists that was giving the information before it was supposed to be released, because I know that they usually release any information about the British royal family as around 5 o'clock, but they might not have gotten the heads up. So imagine them seeing it at the time everybody is seeing it. Everybody in that family, Prince Harry and Meghan, will be shaking. They will be shaking, because they know that the next person, the next most likely person that will be stripped of their title is them, if they try any nonsense again. Because this is setting a pattern of, if you do anything to embarrass the royal family, whether you are the king's son or not, you are going to be removed. You will become a commoner that you wanted to become. And whether they like it or not, whether Prince Harry and Meghan like it or not, or will openly say it, they love the connection to the British royal family, especially Meghan. So if they want to keep that connection, they would have to behave, because whether Meghan likes it or not, or whether any of their fans want to admit it or not, the fact that Meghan is connected to the British royal family by marriage has helped to open doors that she might not have been able to get into. And if she and her husband are stripped of their title, those doors might close a bit. So everybody is going to be on their best behavior, especially because of their children that are styled as prince and princess. So this whole thing is a mess, and I know a lot of people from the success squad or whatever, or fans, are really like bothered about this whole thing because they know that this is not a good thing for them, because it's going to be like, oh, it has been done before, why can't it be done now? In case Prince Harry or Meghan does anything that they see as damaging to the British royal family. So I really, this whole thing is just a mess, because I never expected it. I expected, okay, he's giving up his title, but that he be stripped up, I never expected it, and I did not think it was possible. But hey, it is what it is. This is the 21st century British royal family, and they are not taking any chances. Anyway, that is my thought about this whole thing. That is my thought about Prince Andrew getting stripped of his title and how it might affect Prince Harry in the future. I would love to hear what you think about this whole situation. Do you think that the royal family did something great in stripping Prince Andrew of his titles, or do you think that it was too much of an action and they should not have done that, considering that Prince Andrew has said that he's not guilty? I would love to hear your own thoughts, so please leave a comment in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next time. Bye.